I mean, hey, our boy. We see our boy. I love it. Maybe that's why there's a bit of a delay. The Chinese tournament organizers are like, all right, enough nerds. Give us some cameras. We're running a $15,000 tournament over here. Turn on your camera. Nice hoodie, Reynor. Oh, our boy looks pumped up. So yeah, Dragon Elf, there was one. I grew up in Hoogvliet, and there's a shopping center called the Binnenbaan. I don't know the name of that fish place, but that one is actually kind of good too. But I just recently had that one again, after the one near the supermarket here took a week off for the Christmas holidays. And I was like, it's actually less good than the one here. Like, this one stand is so good. And there are two other stands on different days, but I never buy it there because I don't like it at all. But the one on Friday here in Zuidland is goated. Alright guys, here we go.
Let's get it on.
Bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of the man who got a 3-1 victory a couple weeks ago over his opponent, representing BASILISK. Apparently in his Discord, you guys can read all about him googling himself on the Chinese websites. It is Reynor. I don't really know what the story is behind it, but apparently our boy is very popular over in China. Top right side, the man who couldn't get it done yesterday against Serral. Does he have something else up his sleeve today? The Polish Terran player Spirit. Reynor and Skillers used to live in Zoetermeer, Dragon Elf. I don't know if you know that. But I visited them a couple of times. I also played padel in Zoetermeer not too long ago. Apparently they have two padel places. I forgot the name of the place that I went to. I don't know. They lived in Zoetermeer. If I can say it right now because they don't live there anymore anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? I'm not doxing a place that they don't live. Skillers has moved and Reynor is obviously back in Italy. I'm trying to see if I type in Zoetermeer, maybe. I don't really remember. But it was very basically I took the exit and then I drove on the highway a little bit and then it was like 2 exits and I was there. Doesn't show up right now. But relatively new area. It was close to a prison. I don't know if you know the prison in Zoetermeer, but basically they lived in the neighborhood next to the prison. If that rings a bell to you, then you know where it is. It was a pretty nice apartment. I think the boys had a good time. Let's see how well I know my boy. Because I predicted Zerg game 1 ley lines. And if Reynor takes the 1-0 lead, I think he plays Protoss in game 2 on Neon Violet Square. Now we can triangulate Roddy. Oh mate, you guys know I live in Zuidland. If you guys ever want to find me, you just drive to Zuidland and there's like 4 houses here, so by process of elimination you'll be able to find me real quick. I am not hard to find, mate. If I wanted to be hidden, I would just say that I live in RotterdaM, but by living in Zuidland, you guys basically know where I live. There's 3 farmers and me. And that's pretty big. Spirit with his little Reaper opening gets a queen. That's not bad at all. The Zergling speed is done. Reynor is going to be able to get the wraparound. Maybe Spirit stuck around a little bit too long, right? Because initially this looked alrighty for Spirit, but now we just end up losing the Reapers right when Zergling speed kicks in. Obviously was not able to really delay the hatchery either. Do I like living in a small town? I would say these days, yes. When I was young, I probably would not have enjoyed it. I loved living in Cologne, I loved living in LA and Rancho Cucamonga, but you know, once you get a bit older, you don't need the crazy stuff anymore. I'm very worried here for Spirit, by the way, because the man's got like absolutely no DPS and he may very well lose his starport. That is so painful. These Hellions are still not out. It is Zerglings versus an SCV and that is a cancel on the starport. Spirit ain't happy. You're a city boy. I think living in West LA has ruined cities for me. Non-stop police cars, non-stop fire trucks, a bunch of junkies, too much noise. I'm traumatized. I like living among the farmers right now. Rough start to Spirit. It looked promising in the very beginning, but in the end, obviously did not get done what he was looking for. I know it's not a calamity, and I'm not saying it is. But you know, you just get older, guys. Is Rancho Cucamonga in the fire area? I think there is a fire somewhat near there, but like Rancho would always be safe because it's not in the hills. This is not bad, by the way, for Spirit. It is 9 drones going down rather quickly. And losing your Hellions does obviously sting a little. And Reynor's just got so much freedom. So like, yeah, you lose 9 drones, but you can remake 20. And there's not a damn thing that Spirit can do about it at the moment. Because he doesn't have any bio units yet. West LA sounds like Paris, but better. You live in Paris. I would not want to live in Paris. I did really enjoy living in Cologne, or Köln, as the Germans would say, when I was young, and I worked for ESO as a shoutcaster. Lived together with first the Muslim, then Mr. Bitter. Honestly, Cologne was a very fun town. Lovely people, we always had a good time, nice food. Sure, a lot of kebabs, but I did really enjoy my time in Köln. Why am I so cool? I've got a lot of experience, mate, in not being cool. So I guess eventually you learn. I enjoyed Carnival too, man. I've shared the story many times that I didn't have a Carnival outfit, but then I put on my Dignitas gaming hoodie. And then the German ladies asked me what was I dressed up as, and I said as a pro gamer. And they're like, oh, I love it. I was just rocking my Dignitas hoodie, but they were dressed up as a cow or a policeman, and I was a pro gamer. Double cloak Banshee flies into the natural. Gets a couple drones as well. Beautiful block, by the way, on the top side of the map on those Hellions. Reynor is on point, eh? And Reynor, I think so far is on point. Sure, he's bleeding out a decent amount of workers. Okay, now it's getting a bit extreme. But I still think that Reynor's had a lot of good moves. The upgrades look mighty fine for Reynor. I don't think he has to worry about any move out. Spirit is going to play very different today against Reynor than he did yesterday against Serral. The opening was already very different, but right now it's the second factory, it's the 4th base, so Spirit is going to try to just drag this one on into the ultra late game. Maybe he saw that PvP and he's like, man, that was short. I think the StarCraft fans deserve a little more today. And this could very well turn into a 20, 25, 30-minute game. I'm sure the women love a pro gamer back then. Why not? You think I wasn't doing good, mate? You think Roddy in 2010 in Cologne wasn't getting all the eyes? Oh, I was. All the phone numbers, baby. Spirit Serral yesterday was Lulu Cup, and Serral won 2-0 relatively convincingly. Spirit went for a 3-base all-in on this map, Ley Lines, and he went for a 2-base all-in on Abyssal Reef. Just never build a 4th or a 3rd base in any of those games. Ben was good. Yeah. Now the nice thing about Ben is that if Ben had like 2 Kullish in his system, he would become overly British. He would no longer just sound like the Ben that you guys know. But he become like 120% British. And the German ladies did love that. Reynor's got Hive Tech on the way and the Hydra then. At this point we're just going to fight over creep a little bit. I don't think that this game is going to pop off anytime soon. It's triple tank production, by the way, for Spirit. I thought it was double tank, but it's triple factory. Spirit is just going to Omega Turtle here. If Nathanius would be awake right now, and I don't think he is because it's like 4 AM for Nate, but If Nintanius was awake, he'd be loving this. I'm sure that Ben will play some games again. Like, Ben obviously has his own thing going with Age of Empires, and he's been doing good for quite some time in that regard, but he's also invested in the Esports World Cup StarCraft 2 announcements, because Ben still gets invited to cast big StarCraft events. Seems like our stream is lagging. Shouldn't be too bad. So for Ben, it's a big deal too, even if he's mostly an Age of Empires player right now. Of course, Ben wants to hang out with his friends and cast a couple video games and get paid. And I'm sure that if we get a happy announcement, that he will give you guys a little StarCraft stream or two. A long time ago, Spirit and Reynor had a game on... I forgot the map. It was the map that I played against Crank in WTL. Also the map where Serral had like the quickest ultras in the world against one of the Korean Terrans. It had like the Neo... Was it Neo Humanity with the rocks and the slow zone in the middle? Ultra turtle map. Okay, if you guys say it's all Neo Humanity, that's what it was. And a Spirit really tilted Reynor in that game. That was in the ESL Europe or the DreamHack Regionals. And Spirit basically just did nothing. For like 45 minutes, he did nothing. Other than sensor towers, ghosts, planetaries, and just defend, defend, defend. And Reynor started chatting at one point where he's like, is this fun or something along those lines? And there was a tiny bit of drama because some people thought it was bad mannered. Reynor was visibly pretty tilted by that game. And it almost feels that Spirit thought back of that and you're like, you know what? It worked back then. Maybe it works again. Back then goals were 2 supply though, now it's 3. And some of the Terrans have already said that they do feel that late game TVZ became a whole lot harder. Reynor already looks a tiny bit annoyed in his chair, to be honest. How much casters get paid for 3 days Katowice? Is it like 500 a day or more or less? Katowice is definitely more than 500. Like there are some tiny community tournaments where you will get less than that. Obviously everything that I do from home, most of the time I get 0 because I just do it because I have content. If I'm traveling to a location and I work on a different channel, like Home Story Cup is something like that. Sometimes a bit less, but that's basically Home Story Cup. Katowice is obviously more, and Esports World Cup is way more. Those days are very, very good for StarCraft 2 casters. And also it depends, by the way, because not everybody gets the same. Some casters get more, some casters get less. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out who gets the most. Whether or not that is fair or justified, I don't know. Most of us are basically somewhat similar, and then there are 2 outliers who get a whole lot more. Home Story Cup you don't do for the money. You do it because it's fun. You do it for the community. No, it's not me. I'm very similar to the rest. No, I wish it was me and Ben. Ben and me will probably get the same. Maybe I will get a tiny bit more sometimes, but then you're talking about 100 or 200 bucks a day. And to be fair, like if you look at how much I do StarCraft throughout the year and Ben, I think it would be fair if I get 100 or 200 buckies more, but I don't care too much over that. As long as I think it is fair and I'm happy with what I get, I just accept. Home Story Cup we definitely do for the gay pizza, yeah. Well, Reynor is obviously going to do his absolute best to not make this a 45-minute game. We've got a blinding cloud landing on the planetary, landing on the tank. That should be a dead PF, but obviously Spirit's got like 25 additional command centers. So losing one is not going to cripple him. Losing a bunch of goals is annoying. Reynor gets a tank. Where is this going? 136 Zerglings on the production tab. This is going straight into that campaign mission, mate. Where Reynor is gonna fully channel his inner Sarah Kerrigan. And is gonna make wave after wave of literally everything. Link, Bane, Ultra, Broodlord, Infestor, back to Link, Bane. Just a silly amount of Zerg units I'm hoping he can get Spirit out of this game. He's getting a lot of tanks here, by the way. These are honestly very good attacks by Reynor. Like, Spirit is not supposed to be struggling here, but he is struggling. Reynor has truly found the weakest point of the defenses of Spirit, and Spirit is not just losing a planetary and a couple SCVs, he's losing a lot of tanks, he's losing infrastructure, he's losing buildings. Spirit does get one hatchery of Reynor. This is a proper how will Reynor ever financially recover from this? He lost the top left side base, guys. Now he's only down to 10,100 minerals and 3.3k gas. I honestly believe that if you want to play like this, it makes sense to have a couple Widow Mines as well, right? It just feels that a few Widow Mines are so good against these heavy number of Zerglings. I also think that Spirit probably should have had double planetary here. I think where he's building those missile turrets and sensor towers right now, I think you should have had another planetary. So Reynor is forced to attack into double PF. Yeah, the FPS drops are annoying, the stream quality is not great. Nothing I can do about it, guys. They don't let me join the game. They let us join in the Lulu Cup, but in Masters Coliseum they don't let us join. I think the main reason why they're lagging is why I lag if I join games on the Korean server. Because now it's somebody from China joining the game on European Battle.net. So they have lag, and that is the lag that we see. The players will not have lag, but this is just the lag that the observer has. Reynor drops a little blinding cloud on the triple missile turret. Planetary fortress is gonna take damage and will get blown up. Better hold by Spirit this time though, right? I feel like this is better on the side of Spirit. Reynor is like, well, this is fun. Reynor is actually closing his eyes right now and he's thinking of a game of League of Legends, because Reynor still loves StarCraft and he absolutely enjoys competing at the highest level. But I know that Reynor does not enjoy this stuff. He never has, and I don't think he ever will. Earlier I agreed that it looked like a slow and painful death for Spirit, but that last hold was, I think, very good on Spirit's side. If Spirit gets that one or two more times, he's totally fine. The last hold was actually perfectly fine for Spirit. And Spirit's army is also getting better now, by the way, because he got rid of a couple of the basic units by killing that hatchery in the top left, right, and dropping a little bit, and he's replacing it with stuff like Liberators that makes it even more difficult for Reynor to attack into. Spirit's army is going all the way to the bottom right side, so it is not here. And Reynor gets on top of a bunch of orbitals, gets all the mules. Also defends perfectly in the bottom right. Well, that was not a good move by Spirit, guys. Is casting still in any way recreational, or is this all practice for your profession? I don't think this is practice. This is just my job, man. My job is to be a streamer, right? And some people stream themselves walking up and down the streets of Gangnam. Some people stream themselves playing Fortnite or GTA. And my job is to be a StarCraft streamer, and I stream and cast video games. Is this still fun? Most days, yes. There's obviously days where I don't enjoy it for various reasons, because I'm a human. But a day like today, I am generally excited. Masters Coliseum, so-so. Tonight, Max Pack Serral. Like, I'm just generally excited as a fan. I'm happy that I got the match together. Just really looking forward to it. And also, like, every game is different, mate. It's kind of like watching football. I often make that comparison, but that's the way that I see it. Like, I'm a big football fan. I always have been. But some games are fucking dreadful, right? It's 0-0, nothing happens, or players are laying on the floor all the time. And StarCraft is the same. Like, I love StarCraft, but some games are bad. And some days are amazing. So yeah, it's definitely fun, but like, I don't go in here with the mindset that I'm gonna tell you guys that everything is always fun and it's amazing and oh my god, Zerglings are attacking the SCV. Like, that's not how I enjoy this stuff. I enjoy it if I generally think it's awesome, or if somebody's just having a mega performance, if the storyline is great. Obviously, with these lag spikes, like, you guys are bothered by it, but I'm bothered by it too. This is just annoying. So this takes away from my enjoyment. It's like watching an F1 race, but then the audio keeps clipping out or something. It's like, that's annoying. So I'm having less fun now, but I'm having more fun later tonight when I'm watching Serral max packs, if that makes sense. I did not watch Spurs Liverpool, but I followed the score. I saw that Liverpool was unhappy because apparently the guy should have had a second yellow. He didn't, then he scored and they lost, and now they're angry. I think they've won enough. They shouldn't be too upsetting. As a Blackburn fan. Well, division Blackburn is second division now, right? You guys are not even in the championship, or are you? I don't hear much about Blackburn these days, which most of the time is a very bad sign, because that means that you guys are not doing good. Reynor is getting the Hydra speed upgrade. Ah, championship? Okay, that's not too bad. Are you guys above Watford? The upgrade on the production tab for Reynor right now is Hydra Launch. It used to be called Hydra Dash, and now they changed it into a launch forward. It makes Hydras very quick for like 0.5 seconds, and then it's over. But it is fun. These are in general not my favorite games of StarCraft 2, because I feel that Spirit is just like, he's got a game plan, and obviously it's a strategy game, right? There's money on the line and he's absolutely allowed to play in any way he wants. But I don't find it very entertaining to see one guy basically do nothing. Just like turtle up and be like, hey, kill me. It's like, I love it when there's a bit of a back and forth and some sneaky plays being made and great maneuvers. This is just let me turtle up and hope that you lose your patience and take some bad fights. It's not my favorite game, but who's winning in our hearts in this game? I'd say it's Reynor, because at least he's trying to make stuff happen. But, you know, I'd never be a hater. It's not like, oh, fuck Spirit for doing this. No, there's money on the line. It's a big tournament. If he feels that this is his best chance to win, he's absolutely allowed to play like this. But obviously, we are allowed to like it or not like it. Some people really think it's awesome because they love the longer games. They love the messy and bloody battles. I just don't find it too intriguing. Reynor blows up the 6th planetary here with a silly amount of Lings and Banes once more, as Spirit is running for the hills, retreating into one of the 24 tanks that he has. Does have some activity now out on the map. And this is obviously where it does become a bit more interesting. Where it's not him only defending, he actually has units out on the map. And he's finding some damage. It's very easy to look at Reynor's mineral bank and be like, Reynor can do this forever, he's so rich. But what is more important is the gas bank. Because there is a point that not even 1,000 Zerglings are going to win you the game. Right now, Reynor's got 5k gas in the bank. That's obviously plenty. He can rebuild his army, again, but it's not infinite. It is pretty easy to burn through 5k gas. Yeah. There's also, it makes maybe sense for Spirit to do this in the very first game. Because imagine if Spirit is able to pull this off for 35-40 minutes and he wins. Like, he knows Reynor well enough, they are friends. But he knows Reynor well enough that Reynor is insta-tilted. Like, it's just the way it is. And of course Reynor is a pro and he can shake that off and he can still mentally recover. But if Reynor ends up losing this game, he will not be happy. There's a 7,000 resource loss difference right now in the units lost resource tab. Meaning that Reynor lost 6-7k more throughout this game. That's still very acceptable. But it's starting to look, in my eyes, this game is starting to look a little bit scary for Reynor. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. Funny Colors got hacked. That was a Neo Humanity. Chat helped me out because I always forget the map names. A game in the playoffs of the European regionals on Neo Humanity. I'd love to know how many Zerglings have fallen so far in this game. I don't know if he's ever gonna press Shift L for us or not. How many Lings do you guys think have gone down in this 25-minute game? I would go with 844. You think 1100? That many already? I think it's not quite above 1k yet. I'd say it's 844, but we will only know if the guy presses Shift L. I really hope he does. And if he does, please look for it, because I will probably forget about this. And I still don't see. Hey! 894! What a guy! He's listening! Wow, a little bit dicey. You were only off by 6 Zerglings. That was a really good guess, mate. That was a really good guess. I think I was kind of close as well. You know, 50-ish. Reynor continues to go for it, lands a couple of lightning clouds, parabombs, so many ghosts. It is 3 supply for the ghosts, but we still have so many of them. There are planetaries, there are liberators. I'm starting to get worried for Reynor in this game. Even though the unit's lost resource tab, still looks perfectly fine. Only losing 4k more, like that's nothing. You literally typed 8 3 times. You did great. You were off by 6 Zerglings, mate. That's a great guess. S6 Romeo says Reynor is fine. I'm not saying that he's not fine. I'm just saying I'm starting to get a tiny bit worried. And denying this bottom base is incredibly important. Like, as long as Spirit does not get his hands on that bottom base or the base at 12 o'clock, I agree, Reynor is completely fine. If Spirit is able to stabilize on one of those 2 bases, I will get a tiny bit worried. There are 2 crucial bases right now. Like, this base in the center is not important anymore because Spirit has been mining of it for a while. As Reynor moves forward in his chair. Seems a bit bored. Man is sitting there with 600-700 APM. I don't think he's exhausted. He's just mildly annoyed. But right now there are 2 very important bases. We've got that base at 5 o'clock and we've got the base at 12 o'clock. If Reynor can prevent Spirit from ever getting those, Spirit is gonna run out of money and Spirit will lose. If Spirit does get these bases, I mean, there's not that many minerals left here, but there's definitely some gas. I do think Reynor is playing Protoss on Neon Violet Square. Reynor knows this base is important. If Reynor doesn't attack, what will happen is that Spirit mines out more and more and more resources. Eventually gets rid of all the SCVs, drops a couple meals, has 180 supply of Ghost Liberator, and he wins. Sorry about the lag there, guys. It's not my fault. Nothing I can do. I could maybe ask. I'm gonna ask if I can join the game on the European server, because it really is quite laggy. What do you think about Nidus in the main? I always like a little Nidus attempt. How many freaking planetaries have died this game, man? It is it is nice to see a 30-minute game on this Friday. We were very excited for this Friday, and the first PvP best of 5 was obviously incredibly short and not mega exciting, so it is good to see some proper StarCraft, to be fair, right? We did not want to see 6 games that lasted 36 minutes combined. So. Game 1 officially longer than the entire PvP best of 5, as Reynor has a nice mix of Lings, Banes and Hydras here. He's gonna get another planetary, and this is painful for Spirit, because if he loses this one, it's a lot less likely that he's gonna get control of that 5 o'clock base. I really didn't see too much of this mass changeling stuff. I know that Rogue had one famous game and everybody's suddenly talking to me about mass changelings. And, oh, burrowed banelings, yes! I love it, Reynor. I'm a fan. I love it. Honestly, I'm looking at Reynor's camera more than I'm looking at the game at this point. Spirit indeed is broke. Losing the setup, that entire staging ground in the bottom right side is very painful. No idea why he's building 3 Rexes, by the way. Isn't it a bit weird? Shouldn't he have plenty of barracks? The man's got no money. Like, why is he building 3 more Rex? But there were never any Hydras in the main. Did he lose all his Rex to Zerglings? But how? How did Zerglings kill all the barracks? Lings, Banes, and Hydras are gonna get on top of a lot of goals. There are so many Overseers here in the mix. Ghost is so tanky though. What the whoop? Man, I thought the Ghost would be in trouble, but turns out they're not. Reynor is having serious deja vu from the past, but Reynor still has money, still has larva. We got 122 extra Zerglings on the way. Good luck with that, Spirit. I know Ghosts are good, but Ghosts are not going to deal with 122 Zerglings. And after 32 minutes, it is our man from Basilisk who takes the 1-0 lead. As you guys can see, he is ecstatic. Thrilled. Reynor is thinking about his Sona partner this morning that didn't listen. And he's like, man, I know I was upset at that Sona that didn't heal me, but honestly, I prefer that over this game. Protoss game 2, guys. Protoss game 2. That is what I'm feeling. The original prediction was Reynor plays the Zerg on ley lines, and he's gonna whip out the toss on Neon Violet Square. Spirit, his picture is quite old. Reynor is done with the camera. He's like, if I'm losing all my hairs molding, I don't want it to be documented. You feeling Miras? Yeah, that would be fun. I'd like that. Reynor probably said if he's playing without a camera, I'm gonna turn mine off too. I felt some lag. Kinda sad. I personally enjoyed watching the camera. It was fun, you know. To be fair, guys, sure, it took a little while before it became interesting, but at least we saw some nice battles, good engagements, fantastic macro on the side of Reynor. And we also see how much of an impact the 3 supply, 2 supply Ghost has, because in the past, Spirit has been more successful in these scenarios. Spirit defeated Clem Stalls. I don't see Reynor trying it. That will make Reynor want to try it even more, mate. I think he's playing Protoss on Neon Violet Square. If I know my boy, he's playing Protoss. Now, does the old man know his boy? I don't know. We're about to find out. And I don't have insider information, by the way. I didn't talk to Reynor about this. I did tell him, I don't know, a week ago or something, that I hope that he takes the tournament serious, because you never really know how long this will all go on. You don't know how many tournaments you have to look forward to, and it's 2 big online tournaments in the month of January. A lot of other esports would be jealous of a 15k online tourney, a 6k online tourney. He's in the players of both of them, so obviously I hope he takes it serious, and well, by the looks of it, he absolutely has taken it serious so far. Look at that. Isn't that the face of a Protoss player? You guys are gonna tell me that he ain't playing Protoss. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. That is a Protoss smile if I've ever seen one. He has your stream open? I don't think so. I mean, sometimes he does, but sometimes he takes a little look at Twitch chat in between the games. But like right now, he's probably yapping in his own Discord. He maybe takes a look at Harstemir's stream or Wardy's stream. Obviously, he stops by our stream quite often. I don't know what he's doing. But that is the smile of a Protoss player. It takes one to know one. I've never seen a Zerg be that happy to play late game ZVT. I'll let the boy focus. I am not distracting him. Yeah, but that was even too quick. There's no way that he would have read that and it would have already gone through. So that was definitely too quick, guys. No, that was too quick. Let's see. Neon Violet Square. Is it Protoss or Zerg? Ah. Ay. No Protoss, guys. Top left side, spawning as the Italian Zerg. It is Basilisk Reynor. Bottom right side, we're looking at the main base of the man. Played very, very defensive on ley lines. The Polish Terran player is Spirit. I do not know my boy. Honestly, I would have fancied his Protoss chances here. Might see the Midas. Like, I don't think he's gonna... Well, I don't know, actually. I don't know what Reynor is going to do. It obviously really depends what Spirit is going to do as well, right? There's no guarantee just because Spirit played Omega defensive on ley lines that he's going to do the exact same thing here on Neon Violet Square. But maybe Spirit looked at that game and he said, you know, I just needed an extra planetary a little bit earlier. I should have not lost so many SCVs and bases early on. And if I would have not done that, it would have been easier to take some of these further bases. I can do the exact same thing, but better. Swarm Host is just really bad against Bio. If Spirit was a mech player, I definitely think you can do some really cool stuff with Swarm Host on this map in particular. But Spirit very rarely plays mech. Reynor has himself in a calendar over bet. I didn't see. I don't know what he has. It's a room that I'm not that familiar with. Because a long time ago, whenever Reynor was home, he was basically on the top floor of a house, right? And he had that bright light and he had the IM trophy. Then he was at his grandma's place quite often and he has a slightly different setup. I haven't really seen this room yet, but it looks nice. I feel like overall it's a nice setup. Reynor does seem to be happy. Something happened that made him happy. Would it be possible to play battlecruisers versus Zerg in late game? Absolutely. It's just that infestors are very scary. Because what often will happen is if you fly out with your BCs, that there are infestors burrowed somewhere, they try to land a neural parasite, and then the moment the Zergs take control of the BCs, they make a little jump. So tactical recall or tactical jump goes on cooldown, and then the Corruptors get on top of them and kill them. But Gumio, for instance, has found a lot of success with BCs in the past against Reynor. Hello, Johan. I don't think he's queuing up, but something seemed to be entertaining our man. Unlike some other play, as Reynor takes the pocket expand rather quickly. Already going up to 4 bases, but the pocket expand is half a base. It has a lot of gas, but very few minerals. I don't know actually if the other guys are in-game. I didn't ask if I was able to join in-game. But the clean feed was kind of laggy, to be honest. He's jungling. I don't think he plays TFT. I've never heard him say a single thing about TFT. I'll probably try to make Reynor play a round of Macabellum in the future, because that is a wish from Mr. Witter. Reynor is also friends with Mr. Bitter. He didn't obviously grow up with him like I did, but Reynor was at Homestory Cup 20 where he made it to the Grand Finals, lost against Serral back then, but Homestory Cup 20 in Berlin was an amazing tournament, and Mr. Bitter was there as well. And even if Reynor was still a lot younger back then, because what year are we talking? This is like 5 years ago, right? So if Reynor is 22 right now, he was 17 back then. But obviously already a little bit of a party boy. I won't go into the exact details, but Reynor loved Mr. Bitter, so I'm sure that if Mr. Bitter would really want him to play a couple rounds of Mechabellum, Reynor will do that for him. He still exists. He's hanging out in my chat almost every day, mate. These days. Because he works for Mechabellum. Since very recently. That was not a thing. Before that, he worked for his dad's company in Atlanta, but is now part of the Mechabellum team. Yeah, I don't know if it's the kind of game for Reynor, but we'll see. We'll see what he thinks. The problem is that young kids in general have very little patience, right? And indeed, having to wait 20-30 seconds and then seeing a slow battle, it might not be for Reynor, but it's still worth a shot. Yep, NASL Season 3 and 4. And of course, we also did ESL together. We did a whole bunch of IEMs. Casted IEM Kiev with Ben, IEM Hanover, IEM Sao Paulo, IEM New York, IEM Hangzhou. Did a whole bunch of IEMs, couple DreamHacks as well. Did a lot of events together with Mr. Bitter. The TLDR of the entire state of the pro scene right now, mate, is that at the moment we are in the biggest limbo ever, and we are waiting for very big news from ESL and the Esports World Cup. When will we get that news? Could be tomorrow, could be today, could be within 2-3 weeks. Absolute latest a month. And once that news is out, we'll know how it all looks. And either it looks great, or it looks less great. And if it looks less great, we're gonna have to be creative. That is the TLDR of the state of the scene right now. They do have chess, yes. It's not ESWC, by the way, guys. It's just EWC. ESWC is that old tournament in Paris from my days, when I was a Warcraft 3 gamer. ESWC is legendary. Did go bankrupt at one point, but hey, still legendary. What we are doing in Saudi Arabia is EWC. It's close, but not the same. We do get some good old Mudaling Bane, guys. You guys, I played World Cyber Games, yeah, in 2008 in Cologne. I was a player and a caster for that event, because I was already casting Warcraft 3 back then. So they hired me as a caster, but I also qualified as a player. And then Red Eye, who was in charge of the broadcast team, said like, well, that's fine, but just don't go too far. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm gonna try to win. He's like, yeah, I know, but he saw my group, and I had an incredibly tough group. But then I beat Focus, the Korean orc player, who's still around, by the way. He's still playing right now at a high level. And Red Eye is like, well, that's awesome, but that's also really bad, because what are we gonna do? But then I lost to, I think I lost to Lucifron. And I lost to a Polish Night Elf. So in the end it was a 3-way tie, but I was eliminated. This happened very often, by the way, in my days. And then Red Eye said, I'm sorry, Kev, but I'm very happy. Now you can go cast. It wasn't just Harston who was right about the Mudas. Everybody here said Mudas. Even a guy in the chat said Mudas. Literally everybody said Mudas, and you're gonna be like, Harston was right. Everyone said Mudas, mate. There is nobody who didn't say Mudas. What a guy. 27 people say Mudas. And you're like, man, the guy on the other stream was really right. It's like, exactly. Dexter Gexter was right. Called it way before. Give some love to Dexter Gexter, okay? Definitely a lot of maneuverability for the Mudas here on Neon Violet Square, but Spirit is no stranger playing as Mudas. That's a little bit sloppy, flying those medevacs straight into the Mudas. Reynor doing a good job here in finding some openings. Missile turrets are so goated. Reynor is already smiling because he knows that he is not going to break Spirit anytime soon. Yep, I felt it was coming. I felt it was coming. He Spirit is hitting him with the only way to win. What do you guys think Clem has to say about that? I think Reynor is very tempted to write something like "for you" maybe, but Spirit is not wrong. Love to see Clem play some TVZs. I'm pretty certain we can still be aggressive, guys. But from Spirit's point of view, that's completely fair. I'm not hating. Said that in the previous game as well. Reynor gets the planetary, but that was pretty expensive. But he gets it. 68 additional Zerglings on the production tab, 9 more Mutas. Reynor glance halfway done. 11 minutes into Neon Violet Square. Reynor shaking his head. Think he knows what he's getting into. Spirit said it's the only way to win. And then Reynor just said true. This might be the only Terran strategy you can pull off while having a thumbs up all game, to be fair, right? Reynor, his Muta flock gets on top of triple turret. If you have this many Mutas, I guess missile turrets are not all that scary anymore. I don't know why we don't lower those depots, by the way. I feel like it would make Spirit's life so much easier if he would actually lower those depots. That just hurts him. And he's got a couple of Thors. At least one or two. Thors are very good anti-Muta. By the way, we're getting a lot of additional orbitals. I really think what Spirit lacked in the last game was another safety planetary fortress. He is getting one right now, I believe. That's the planetary right there in the dead center. Oh no. No, never mind. That's an orbital too. He's getting a planetary at the gold. Also getting building armor. This is the GTA meme, you know. Here we go again. Ah, shit. I hope we get some good memes out of GTA 6. Might be a fun game to play on the side while watching these kinds of TVZs. We could have been watching Reynor Clem. Yeah. This could have been Reynor Clem. But Clem got a little bit unlucky with the three-way tie format. And didn't even think about it, but it is what it is. Liberator have a splash attack. I love Liberator auto attack. That's a lot of splash damage. Liberators. Ay caramba, Reynor. As a man who has lost a lot of Phoenix against Liberators, guys, I know how that feels. Reynor is shaking his head. Honestly, I think he regrets nothing. Chinese production is loving it. They're like, content, baby. They may have taken Reynor versus Clem from us, but we got this in return. Yeah, the full screen. Ça va, Clément. We got the world champ in the chat, guys. Honestly, I think Reynor regrets not playing Protoss on Neon Violet Square. What is the best play here? The best play is obviously make them certain that Spirit does not get additional bases. And try to keep an eye on where Spirit moves his forces and then use Strike where he's got a little bit less. If Spirit moves a lot to the bottom left, Reynor is going to try to attack the natural, get into the main. Couple Nidus. This is basically a fight where the entire army is not at. And no planetary, ideally nearby. Liberate is not sieged up. The play is just to get the great engagements. I think we're done with the Mutas for a bit. Like this planetary, by the way, it does have building armor. Reynor's gonna have to use some Banelings. Zerglings are good. The yellow submarine is goated. But with building armor, you're gonna have to use a couple. What? Okay. I guess the Mutas are dead and Spirit feels that the Thors are supply inefficient. I mean, all the Mutas are dead and he probably only built the Thors to deal with the Mutas, but I find that a bit crazy. Like, Thors are pretty tanky, and I feel like I would have still just put them in front of a planetary, right? Let them absorb some Zerglings, Banelings. Seems a little crazy to me to kill them like that. But hey, I'm not a great Terran player, Spirit is. Yeah, same, Eric. You know, we're 16 minutes into a turtle fest against Zerg. Who do we trust? Spirit or me? Like, even I trust Spirit. So if that man wants to kill his own Thors. This reminds me of a play that Hearthstone made a while ago. Like, you guys are familiar with the PvT scenario where the Protoss has a couple Colossus. Then all the Vikings get out. Sometimes Protoss players, they send their Colossus home. Right? Because they're like, I feel like they're just going to die immediately. I'm going to send them home. I hope I kill the Vikings. And then I show them again. What Hearthstone did once on Site Delta is that he brought the Colossus home. But then he actually killed them too. Hoping that he gave the Terran player the idea they should always keep a whole bunch of Vikings alive. Well, the Colossus died and then eventually we rebuilt them. So it didn't really do a whole lot for us. But I kind of like the idea. It's next level theory crafting for rich games. Thank you, Kuei. I hope I said that right, matey. I welcome you with the Prime. By the way, Clem, if you're still here, are you excited for Max against Serral? Because we see you against Max very often, and we see you against Serral quite a bit, but Max Serral is so rare. I'm very excited for it. I have been smiling from ear to ear for a day. For multiple days now. I've been waiting for it for so long. And tonight we finally get to see Max and Serral play a best of 5. What is my prediction? Well, I think the initial prediction for me and a lot of people were like, it's probably just going to be Serral. I do think, however, some people are thinking that MaxPax is weaker in PvZ than what he actually is because he loses some cross-server games. But MaxPax is just somebody, similar to Clem, that starts playing worse when he starts playing with ping. Because his micro is so good and he's able to get so much value out of all his units that I think it's a lot less likely, or it's more likely that he loses cross-server games than that he loses with 0 ping. This is particularly true in PvP, but I think also true in PvZ. And Serral obviously looked good yesterday, but he didn't look untouchable in CVP. So I really think it's a proper open best of 5. I'm just excited. Serral is playing Gumiho tomorrow in Masters Coliseum. But he's playing MaxPax tonight in my event. MaxPax hasn't played against Serral in 14 months, so I think that the track record doesn't really matter. Against Reynor, it's true, he doesn't have the best record against Reynor. But he has not played against Serral in over a year, so I don't see how any of that matters. The entire map is purple, and Reynor is just trying to make life hard on Spirit, not allowing Spirit to get any additional bases, but like last game, Spirit had a lot of static defenses, but Spirit had no bank, right? Reynor was always able to get some decent trades, as the Chinese production once more is loving that full screen of Reynor. This game, Spirit does have a bank. Reynor is going to get the planetary on the right side once more, but this is something that Spirit will just kind of take for granted, I guess. He's like, I'm going to take out your base in the bottom left, you take out my planetary. Eventually, Spirit should always be able to control this base. Reynor can never really mine up that base. That looked like a defeat sludge. I don't think it's necessarily that he's thinking of defeat yet, because Reynor is Omega rich, and Reynor can always get great engagements eventually. I think it's more of a WTF, what the hell are we doing over here, slouch. Vinny Grippy, I just think because Spirit plays like this, it doesn't mean that every Terran plays like this. Like, it is also a skill to play like this. It might not be the most flashy. But if this stuff was easy, every Terran would do this against Reynor. That is on Spirit level. Spirit is just good in different things than someone like Clem is. Like, Clem has the speed, the multitasking, the sick micro. So, Clem shines in different parts of the game than Spirit does. Spirit knows that he can't play like Clem, but what he can do is play the best version of what he's capable of. Similar to how I always play Phoenix, according to everybody. I don't play Phoenix because I think it's the best. I play Phoenix because that is what I'm best with, and this is what Spirit is best with. I don't think it's really a StarCraft problem or a matchup problem. Because I can guarantee you that there are so many other Terran players who would love to play 22-minute games against Reynor, and they can't. Reynor will find ways to kill them. It's just that Spirit is good in this stuff. And you may not like it, but that's what he's good at. I'm not the biggest fan either, but I do also agree that it is nice to not always see the exact same games. Yeah, it's like watching Mourinho's Chelsea. And hey, that man didn't lose a home game for like what, 9 years? Was it always fun? No. Was it effective? Oh, that's a lot of goals. That's most of them. Nice little grab there on the ghost, but eventually the tank saved it. I think every single time that Reynor sees another circle appear on the minimap, he does start slouching a little bit more. Floyd Mayweather. Floyd had a couple good fights though, right? I didn't really grow up with watching all the Floyd Mayweather fights, but I watched a lot of it back, and there were definitely a couple good fights in there. Also a lot of disappointing ones. Yeah. Kind of the GOAT, right? You may not like it, but Floyd may very well be the GOAT. How many Zerglings do you guys think have died? 23 minutes into Neon Violet Square. I think we're at like 960. Let's hope this guy presses Shift L sometime soon. I'm feeling 960, give or take. But obviously I'm not in control, guys, so I don't know if he's ever going to show us. But last time he showed us really quick, right after we won it. He heard, yeah, maybe he's watching. I don't think so. Chinese guys don't give a damn about me, guys. Hydra Dash being used as well to get on top of these tanks as Reynor finds a few more goals. Spirit, by the way, has 11,000 minerals in the bank at this point. That's like 10,000 more than he ever had on ley lines. It is best of 5. Well, I guess that means that we go straight from Masters Coliseum into the big brain bouts, guys. Reynor kills the planetary in the bottom left. If I say that I think Reynor has killed more planetaries this game than I killed in the entirety of 2024, well, this best of 5, I mean. That may be accurate, guys, because most of my PvTs I either lose when they have a planetary, or I win before they have planetaries. Now, I played a lot of games last year, but I think Reynor killed more PFs in these 2 games than I ever did with Protoss. We are still waiting, Vinny Grippa. We're in the waiting room. Every day at this point is an exciting day. It's the countdown to the announcement. Good news, bad news, we don't know, but we are in the waiting room. And my latest info, insider info, behind the scenes info, is that it's still not decided. That could be good, that could be bad, but it is not 100% yet. You know, Mana says, mate, I'd love to give you an in-depth answer, but I feel like I've already answered it 20 times this stream. TLDR, we don't really know. StarCraft will never just disappear. Anybody who wonders, like, is this the last tournament ever? No, there's no such thing. There will always be a next tournament. As long as the servers are running and we have people that love playing this game, love watching this game, there will always be tournaments. Is there a chance that the pro scene gets smaller? Yes. Is it a chance it gets bigger if EWC gets the best announcement ever? Yes. We don't know. At this point, we are waiting. But I'm a little bit... I'm not annoyed over the fact that so many people care, because that's a great thing. But I'm annoyed that I feel that people almost don't even enjoy this great month of StarCraft with so many awesome online tournaments. Small, big, medium-sized. And it's only about the future, always. Maybe we can just chill in January. Let's just enjoy everything that we have currently going on. And once the Masters Coliseum is over and the Lulu Cup is over, hopefully then we have an announcement. Yeah, Juanito, I love you, mate, but if you want to do this once in the best of 5 tonight against Jam, I'm okay with it, but please not 4 or 5 times. That sounds great, Wallet. That means that we're never going anywhere. You know, yesterday when I said, I don't think you've ever annoyed me, Wingant, I take it back. I knew it was just a matter of time. They grow up so quick, guys. One day they're a sweet, young, exciting German kid, and the next day they're trolling you in Twitch chat. And what have you ever done to them? Nothing but love. Nothing but kindness and opportunities. And what you get in return is that they start trolling you. Reynor finds planetary number 22 of the series so far. As that base in the bottom left side, by the way, is not quite a planetary yet. So that's a lot of SCVs going down. That's a lot of mules going down. And eventually this will start hurting Spirit. I don't think it's quite hurting him yet, but there is going to be a moment where it hurts. You wonder how many mules have died? I don't think that's something you can see. I don't think that mules show up, right, in the unit's lost step, or do they? Reynor indeed at this point has 0 gas income. I don't know if he has mined out all the gas from the top right side and the center right side, but if he did, that is very problematic. Because with 4,000 gas, Reynor is not winning this game. He's gonna need more than 4,000 gas. This is actually pretty good. It's mostly Zerglings that Reynor is trading out there, and he's actually getting a whole bunch of the siege tanks of Spirit. Tanks obviously do cost gas, so that was pretty good. I like how Reynor is really locked in and he's focused and he's like planning his next move, and then at one point he just kind of breaks and he starts laughing and he leans back in his chair and you can hear him mumbling to himself that this is ridiculous and stupid, but then he's back again and then he's in the zone and he's locking in, baby. And he's landing a couple of abducts, a lot of abducts, and some of the Liberators going down. The double planetary, I don't want to say this is what I said I was missing last game, but I think this is mega. The double planetary makes it so much harder to break it. This is done. I think this game goes to, well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm very concerned about Reynor his gas bank, but Reynor does still have extractors that he can mine from in the top side. Spirit got it, Reynor got it. Honestly, at this point, I kind of like it for Spirit, but I don't think it's done yet. I think this can still go either way. Fionn said 37 minutes for who? I don't think this is done yet for anybody. I don't think it's done for Spirit. I don't think it's done for Reynor. Reynor's gas bank is concerning, but he does have extractors in the top right side that he's just not using. Well, the first one was very short, Teminki, to be fair. Australia against Hero was not much. PvP can be awesome, but this morning, unfortunately, it was not it. It is hard, Wigglesworth, because you obviously want to make sure you do get rich to begin with. But you're not wrong. Like, what Serral does very right in these kind of games is that he very quickly starts mining from the further away bases. As Reynor, by the way, here is going to attack right before that center base is a planetary. So it's a beautiful moment, technically, to go for it. Gets the first planetary. He's going to get the second one as well. That's definitely going to hurt Spirit's economy for a while. Like, what Serral does incredibly well is mining from those far away bases, fully saturates them, and always have a Nidus network. And the moment that he knows he can defend that base, he puts all the drones in the Nidus and he unloads them elsewhere. It's something that Jonah started doing roughly 3 years ago, and I think he does it incredibly well. Ooh, we missed an opportunity. Actually, those are Zerglings, right? Not burrowed banelings. I don't know why Reynor is not mining from those gases, though. He absolutely should have been mining of those gases. I do find that a big mistake. I don't know, maybe he's not as locked in and dialed in as we thought. It's a bit odd. He's taking 2 more gases now somewhere. You think Ultra's own now the ghost count is pretty high now. Spirit is indeed getting a little broke, but he still has income and he's got 175 army supply. I don't know if it's even worth attacking this base, by the way. I guess we got it for not a whole lot. I'm worried for Reynor. Even if Reynor has a very big mineral bank, I am worried for Reynor. If I have to call it right now, I say that I like it more for Spirit than I like it for Reynor. Because I don't see how Reynor kills the army. And I don't see how Reynor prevents Spirit from slowly but steady getting the top right side. If Darren has 180 army supply, infest it please, everything clumps. I don't even totally disagree, mate. I like a random infester just for a fun good here and there, but you sound a little bit like the guys on Mana's YouTube channel right now. Mana played a couple games against Serral in the Masters Coliseum. He's like, I'm gonna put this on my YouTube channel. And all the arm-back quarterbacks came out like, bro, you should have used energy recharge here. And you need to have a little more faith. Like, yeah, I know he's Serral, but come on, Mana, you can do this. That's great. And then Mara's like responding in the nicest possible way. It's like, oh, it's actually not that easy, you know. Like, Serral does this and that. It's like, no, man. Should have just done this. Put 3 DTs in B4, B5, B6, hold position. The man thought we were playing chess. DT to B4, DT to B5. Maybe all 3 of them is like a full wall off on the ramp, you know, and then the Zorg units can't go through. And you've got the DT force field. I think Spirit wins it. Reynor looks visibly very frustrated. This is sucking the life out of our boy. And I think he legitimately regrets not playing Protoss. I think Protoss was good on this map. I didn't want to see him play Protoss on some of the other maps, but I think Neon Violence Core in particular, I would have liked to see his Protoss. Does Parasitic Bomb work on flying buildings? No, only on Vikings, Ravens, Liberators, Medevacs. Does not work on buildings. I like how we have a Broodlord. StarCraft 2, guys. A very intense video game played at the highest level, where professional gamers reach speeds up to 500 APM to get the best of them. Thank you, Melski Loco, for the 23 months. Who's hoping for a draw? We are so far away from a draw that it's not even worth discussing. Yeah, Juanito, I was hoping to do a poker stream after I got my Twitch money in January. I have a few things to still pay, and then I thought I would have some money left for poker. But new year, new arrivals of blue envelopes. It ain't happening anytime soon, mate. The Dutch government is very greedy. I don't know what we are preparing for, but I need everything I have, so it ain't happening. Maybe February. Maybe March. Maybe Esports World Cup is needed for Roddy too. It's also my biggest payday of the year, guys. Nah, we'll see. But January is not gonna happen, unfortunately. I had high hopes, but not meant to be. Are we there yet? No. We are not there yet. Do we believe in the Broodlord, guys? Thank you to Deranged Minion for the 22 months. Not one, but 2 primes, baby. It flies an orbiter into the army. You say Reynor is getting so much gas. He's got gas income. But when we are working with armies that are 160 to 170 supply, 2k gas is nothing. Like, you can literally build nothing of 2k gas. So we are starting to reach that phase in the game where one bad fight right now is going to be the end. Eva never believed in the Broodlord. When Mixu brought out the now legendary rewards, this is hell for the Zerg, he was not actually thinking of Champ versus Disc. He was thinking of Reynor versus Spirit 38 minutes in. He just typed it out in the wrong moment. But I do believe this is that hell that Mixu was talking about. Would be very sad if it's a draw. You guys really don't have to talk about a draw. We are nowhere near talking about draws, guys. There is money in the bank. There are plenty of main bases. There's armies. There is income. We really don't have to talk about a draw here. We are nowhere near reaching a potential draw. Few abducts do hurt. Obviously, we do start reaching the point where losing units hurt. Because we don't have infinite money anymore. We don't have infinite income. Why can't Spirit just run Reynor down with all the ghosts? Obviously, Spirit is trying to get pickups with the ghosts, but he is not that rich that he can expose all the ghosts, because if they do get jumped on by a bunch of Zerglings and then Medevacs need to come forward, when Medevacs get abducted, he loses all the ghosts. And at this point, Spirit is not confident that he can rebuild all of them quickly. By the way, I like how we're now building those Thors that we killed 20 minutes ago. The Thors went full circle. This is Spirit making up to his Thors. I'm sorry, it wasn't you guys, it was me. I was just not quite ready for such a serious commitment yet, but I have grown up, I have lived my life, I've learned from my mistakes, and I am ready. Move in with me, Thor. We've gone through so much together. Forgive me for my sins from when I was a young boy. Oh, that is the whole game right now, Philo. It is a game between Reynor trying to get 3 pickles with the Vipers, landing an abduct, getting an expensive unit, and then Spirit is also trying to land snipes. So that is the game that we are playing right now. Nobody really wants to run into the other guy, because whoever runs into the other guy is gonna get either fungled or obliterated by static defenses. So it is a little war of spellcasters. You snipe, I fungal. You snipe, I abduct. The fungals were big there, by the way, but they just kind of tickled the Terran army. With this much medevac support, and obviously because it's a slow game, the medevacs have crazy amounts of energy. And they can heal these bio units up forever. Tanks definitely dealing some serious friendly fire there too. I feel like you guys are very focused on the bank right now, and based on the bank, you're like, I think Reynor's got it. And Reynor can definitely rebuild units a lot easier than Spirit. But I think the biggest problem for Reynor is this army. It is going to be very difficult for Reynor to kill this army. Even parasitic bombs are nice. Getting a kill on the medevac is solid. Spirit is definitely broke. Even the top right side doesn't have a lot of money left. Spirit's got more gas income right now than he's got minerals. Yeah, don't think that Spirit ever thought that the lack of minerals would kill him here, but that is definitely what is starting to happen. That is a real problem. Especially if the Fungols does end up killing some units here. Now a couple of good looks do go down. Few snipes. Not bad for Reynor, right? As long as these are reasonable trades for Reynor, as long as Reynor gets some units for the units that he's losing, he's totally okay. We are 42 minutes in and Spirit has 140 minerals. That is his only mineral patch, I think. That is currently up and running. Reynor has been a very patient man. Right. Starting to agree that I think it's paying off. There's one pickup at a time. A little abduct on the Thor here, a tiny abduct there. Guaranteed a kill with Fungal. And now we get some energy on the Vipers again. And we rinse and repeat. One unit at a time. But at this point we have reached that stage where Spirit cannot rebuild the units that he's losing. Are we gonna get a Reynor's interview if he wins this? I think that Reynor would rather run through glass than talk about these games with me. And I don't want to see him hurt himself, so I'm not gonna ask him to talk about these games with me. I think Spirit just had a miscalculation. Maybe in his mind he was never gonna run out of minerals. He would have plenty of resources in the top right side. And now Spirit suddenly finds himself 43 minutes into the game and he's like, I've got no income. There is nothing I can do. The Zerg army is bigger than my army. Quote the wise Tillerman. If this continues, we are going back to Sol. Hey guys, we have reached the point where there only is a 0 in front of the clock. As a couple of monstrous Fungols do land on Spirit's army, and Spirit has no mineral income whatsoever. Reynor had to work hard for it, and especially incredibly long. But it looks like he is getting rewarded. It was not all for nothing. GG gets called. And Reynor cracks a little smile. A beautiful display of patience. They were not lying when they said patience is a virtue. It is not the end of a series. This is a best of 5. It is only a 2-all lead. Game 3 will be played on Ultra Love. If I know my man Spirit, he is going to request a little break. To be fair, so far a lot of my predictions have been wrong, so maybe they just jump straight into Game 3. But I'm going to take a little break, guys, because that was a lot of yapping. 2 very long games in a row. A 30-something minute game and a 43-minute game. I'm gone for a couple minutes, and I'll see you guys soon for Game 3 on the Ultra Love. They did take a little break, but not the longest break. Here we go, guys. Match point for Reynor here in the quarterfinals of the Masters Coliseum upper bracket. This is a double elimination tournament. The winner of this series will move on to play a best of 5 against Hero next week on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, Reynor and Hero have a lot of history, so I'd love to see that rematch. Let's see if we get there. Ultra Love, bottom left side. It's Spirit, the man from Poland. Top right side. BASILISK Reynor, up 2-0. I think race switching in the middle of the series is allowed, as far as I know. Eva says he can smell 2 base all in. Well, Spirit did go for the 2 base all in against Serral yesterday in the Lulu Cup. But he did it on Abyssal Reef, and I find that an odd map choice to do it. It made more sense to me that he should have done the 2 base all in on ley lines, and he should have done the 3 base all in on Abyssal. But shout out to Hemrick B, by the way, for the 19 months. Our stream will not end after Masters Coliseum today, guys. I will probably take a little break from StarCraft for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Play something very relaxing. Then we swap back to StarCraft. And then we get ready for the big rain belts. Tonight we have the lowest MMR match ever and potentially the highest MMR match ever we've ever had on the same evening. I am excited. 2 absolute extremes. 3-0 Stasis. It was unfortunately very one-sided. A little bit of potential in some of the games for Australia, but it all fell apart so quickly. Hugo Synapse says, I was a 16-month subscriber when this series started. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Are you going to Jack's base? Okay. So what time? Alright. I hope he's nice. Enjoy. Oh, Shocky. What's the main event today? Max Pax versus Serral. My lady has to babysit on her nephew. See, he's a little bit traumatized because apparently the last time he was bullying her, he started hitting her with toys. Very fluffy toys, to be fair, nothing hard, but fluffed animals, or stuffed animals rather. And apparently he has also picked up on 2 words that he's now spamming all the time. Penis and titties. He's in that phase where he learns new naughty words and then he just randomly says them. In Dutch, obviously. But and he's just like, can you stop? And he thinks it's really funny. Yeah, kids. His mom said we are aware of it. We are fighting it, but Titan, Max King. So he doesn't say, he says Pimo for the Dutch people. He just randomly says Pimo and Titan. And he doesn't do it when I'm around, but he does do it when Vicky is around. I mean, it's not even really swearing, right? It's more just silly. You can't really say that that's swearing. Like, he doesn't actually swear. I don't think I've ever heard him say like a true swear word, but yeah, he's just in a phase. But they come and go very quickly. But he mostly does it when it's only Vicky. When I'm around, he doesn't do it. He's slightly intimidated by me, I guess. I hope he has a better time today. Liberator getting a few drones, a little bit of lost mining time on the side of Reynor, but I think there's no need for Reynor to panic just yet. I got in trouble once or twice in elementary school a long time ago. I went to a Feyenoord game and I repeated a couple of the words that I heard in the Feyenoord stadium. Needless to say, my teacher in elementary school was not very fond of those words. I was like 8, and I said things that I really shouldn't have been saying, but I got in a bit of trouble. No, nothing I want to say here, Eric. But he was an Ajax fan, and I had a word for Ajax fans. My teacher did not like it. Ringed my parents. Spirit is on the edge of creep with a lot of Hellions and some stimmed bio. If these tanks can get a little bit closer, Reynor could potentially have a hard time keeping the hatchery alive. Reynor with a trademark Zergling run by, gets the surround on the Marines, and more importantly gets into the natural. Might even get that tank too. I mean, Spirit gets that base, but there is another fourth base up and running for Reynor already. Oh, looks promising for Spirit though. Maybe this was well, obviously the links in his natural don't look very promising. But dropping Reynor to a 3-base Zerg, that's very good. Getting any Zerg down to 3 bases if you're a 3-base Serral is amazing for Spirit. Spirit has put Reynor into a coma with his playstyle in Game 1 and Game 2. And he comes out guns blazing here in Game 3, 8 minutes into Ultra Love. Got him right where he wanted him. Reynor has a lot of slow banelings to blow up that bunker. Maybe get on top of all these SCVs as well. That is very good economic damage. It's going to be at least 10 SCVs or so falling. It's even a bit more than that. More banelings coming in. Can Spirit hit us with a hot pickup? Yes, he can. I'd still say this is very promising for Spirit. Like he is the... Okay, if he loses all the SCVs in the natural, it's not very promising. It looked promising for a bit, but it has took him so long to get these units back home. Losing 10, 15, maybe even 20 SCVs was okay. Losing 32 is problematic. Buddy is still streaming. I haven't seen him since the NASL years. Yeah. I've been streaming since the NASL years, mate. Sometimes I feel a little bit bad because people show up here and they have good intentions. They're like, wow, Roddy, you're live? I haven't seen you in 10 years. And I was like, yeah, I was here, mate. I was here all 10 years. Not that I was hard to find. That was not on me. I didn't go anywhere, mate. I haven't taken any breaks. Little 8 Marine drop in the main base. Spirit obviously knows that he took a lot of economic damage, but he's got a powerful army. On creep, Reynor of course always has potential, because Reynor does have a lot of banelings. 8 more banes are morphing. This could be it. Reynor needs good connections on these banelings. And getting the Hellbats is a start, but we're not mega worried about Hellbats here. We are worried about the guy with the gun. We're worried about these tanks and Liberators getting closer. I know, mate. I know you mean well. Reynor's got the top left side too, but if he loses this base, then I don't think he can ever really protect that one. The Queens are doing their thing. They're buying time. Not many medevacs in the mix, eh? That is a problem for Spirit. Loses that medevac too. Great target fire. Reynor with a snoot amount of Queens. Kind of feels like it's inevitable that Reynor's gonna get a good fight here. Spirit can't pick up. It won't be an easy cleanup, but yeah, on creep with a nice surround. Ooh, this is cool by Spirit. There's no way to save these units, and if there's no way to save the Marines, we can't protect the tanks anymore. The tanks will fall, the Liberators will fall, Spirit gets a base. I was obviously hoping for a bit more. It indeed looks like Spirit is cooked. Different playstyle coming out of Spirit, a lot more aggression. If he would have just been able to be a tiny bit more decisive with that first army that was out and about on the map. You get that right side base, you get the triangle, and immediately retreat. I think he would have been able to save more SCVs. Hello, Bully, by the way, matey. I didn't watch the RotterdaM game, but I did see that they won, right? Or RotterdaM. I don't know how you guys say it. I saw a clip on my Instagram. It was 12-12 and they scored a touchdown. I will watch the NFL playoffs, but college ball is not something that is easily watchable for me. RotterdaM. Did they win 19-12? Was that the final score? Oh, the Lions are cool. I kind of like Detroit as well. Even if I had a bad experience in Detroit, I think it's a cool city. I hope the Lions do great this year. Oh, what? It was 27-24? Okay, that's actually... They scored a lot then in the fourth quarter. Kansas City versus Lions. Yeah, that seems pretty likely. But I feel the NFL playoffs very rarely play out in the way that people think they're just gonna play out, right? Wouldn't it be like the ultimate NFL experience for the Kansas City Chiefs to win 3 years in a row, look great in the regular season, and then lose in the first round of the playoffs? I feel like that is the ultimate NFL experience. They won 2. Whatever, they've been winning a lot, you know it. I guess the Eagles won 1. My homie has been winning a lot. Spirit is probably not going to win here today. Reynor, his run-bys have just been relentless. A much more action-packed game 3 here. Spirit really trying to switch it up. And it looked promising. It definitely looked like he had Reynor in a couple of problematic spots. But Reynor did a great job with the Queen, saving his drones, and especially the run-bys were devastating and lethal. It kind of feels that Spirit is running out of steam. A few Marines here, a couple medevacs in the mix, but no additional upgrades. Gets the spawning pool, that's something. Ooh, Reynor cancels all those morphing banes. It's 26 SCVs again. I think this one is all over, guys. We've got a mega PvZ to look forward to next Friday. As Reynor is gonna try to take down his arch nemesis at this point, that is Hero. Throughout the last 2 years, Hero has hurt Reynor on many moments, burrowed banelings, but they get scanned. Sad. Would have been a cool way to end. Of course, we got a mega PvZ tonight as well. That's why I got the carrier and the Broodlord behind me. And GG gets called. 14-minute game 3 is going to do it. Reynor gets the clean 3-0. No Protoss this time. All Zerg. A long game on ley lines. A proper marathon on Neon Violet Square. And a short one on Ultra Love. 3-0. Reynor looks good. Reynor is in shape. Our boy is sharp. Reynor Hero next Friday, guys. Let me double check if it's next Friday. Love you guys believed in the 3-0 or 3-1 for Reynor, and he delivered. Not bad. Quarterfinals, Lulu Cup, semifinals, Masters Coliseum. Our boy is flying. Take a look, Wikipedia. So tomorrow we continue with the quarterfinals of the upper bracket. We've got another PvP. Should be better than one today. Zaun versus Max Pact. Zaun's PvP looked a little bit shaky against Oliveira, but PvP is PvP. I think he can make it very interesting. Max is the favorite though. And we've got a Serral versus Gumio. This all happens tomorrow. The semifinals get played on January 16th, and that is indeed Friday. No, Thursday. Next Thursday, guys. So I was wrong. Hero Reynor. Hero is the man who has hurt Reynor a couple times over the last 18 months. On some very big moments. Twice at EWC. Big rematch. Mark my words, PvP finals. You mean grand finals or upper bracket final? Or both? I don't know about that, mate. I would bet against that. I think. But it's possible. It could be a PvP finals. Protoss is good. Grand finals, yeah. I don't think it's likely, but it is possible. I'm not convinced there will be a PvP Grand Finals, but I can see it happen. Alright, take a look at the stream. I don't know if they've got anything interesting for us. I think they're just going over some highlights. So right now the local time for me is 3:30 p.m. You guys know on Friday we run the big brain bouts. We didn't run one last Friday because it was right after the holidays, beginning of the year. A lot of people were taking some time off. This Friday we are back, and as I said, to me it's a very special night. It is the lowest MMR match ever to begin with. And probably the highest or second or third highest MMR match ever that we end the night with. First time Serral versus MaxPax in over 14, 15 months. Could happen twice within a week if they both win their match tomorrow. But I am very, very excited for tonight. This is the bracket with fancy Dragon Balls floating around. Hero Reynor on Thursday. Tomorrow all focus is on Zaun MaxPax, and on Sunday Masters Coliseum will also continue with, hey, Australia Spirit. That's a fun one, right, guys? Obviously, money on the line for the winner. Whoa, everything is best of 7 here already. What the hell? Best of 7, lower bracket round 2. I love it. These are the matches tomorrow. Zaun Max and Serral Gumio.